Welcome to Take That Sportscast, everyone.
Welcome back.
We are back from week one of the draft. Well, after the
Week one of
draft,
fantasy baseball.
fantasy baseball, and JM and Devin Holmes were against each other this week.
And I won.
Who won?
I won.
Oh,
Thanks for
wow.
asking. Thanks for asking. Revenge feels sweet. And I know Devin's gonna act all like just one game, but secretly the tears
it
of the
was only
clown,
one game.
the tears of the clown are in the
That's
inside.
not.
You can tell. You can tell he's shook. Just look at that face. That face looks shook. That face looks shook. Oh, everybody cares though, because I'm 1-0. I'm 1-0. I'm 1-0. I'm 1-0. I'm 1-0. You are 0-1, and I'm 1-0. And I know
Nobody
you can.
Nobody cares.
You can keep playing the scene from the league.
No, I'm
but
just waiting. I'm just waiting for you to be done.
I'm waiting for you
Okay,
to be
Mad
done.
Dog.
Winner. Winner.
Mad Dog mad.
He is mad.
All right, guys. We're gonna discuss everyone in our fantasy lineup.
Not
Who
everyone.
do we hate? Who do we like? And who is screwing us over? That's what I want to hear, because I have a few players in mind and they're currently screwing me over, but I have a lot of points accumulated, as well as JM. And
Nobody
I
cares.
think Ian has the most amount of points, unless it's
Nobody cares. Nobody
unless
cares.
it's my guy that I versed last week. He got like 600 something freaking points, and I had like second to third most amount of points. So that sucked. But we move on from week one, and hopefully I can readjust myself. That's what I want to do. So
I hope so too. Love for Devin to be 0-2.
Me and Devin are head to head today, or this week. And currently I am winning at this moment. Devin, let's see if you can pick it back up. That'd be cool to see it be close. I would like to see that.
I wouldn't.
Well, I'm just gonna, take the mic really quick and say that, I'm really annoyed with the Washington Nationals and the weather, because it cost me 4 games with key players such as Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, and Marcus Stroman. It has definitely been tough, losing those 5 games. And on my bench, I also have K. Brian Hayes, injured list, Cody Bellinger, injured list, Sonny Gray, Carlos Carrasco, Mike, all on the injured list. But after 1 week, I'm not going to fret it out too much. Carrasco and Soroka, they back by the end of the month, or they could be back, both be back by the end of the month. And Sonny Gray will be returning Friday. I'm very much hoping that Hayes, comes off the IL when he can, and can at least be productive. And Cody Bellinger, look, when he comes back, he's got a little bit of a calf injury right now, but yeah, I think he'll be fine.
Devin's new team name is the IL Squad. Very well fitting.
Very well fitting. I like it better than the last team name. The last team name was kind of annoying, but whatever. I won, so. And I had the best team name.
Because you don't know how to run. That's something for you. It's not my fault your dad never told you how to run the bases.
I do know how to win, so.
It's not my that you never played Little League when you were little.
Everyone hated Little League.
That's not an M.
my W's to M's. My
I
W.
hated Little League Baseball. I was in
That's
deep,
not an M. I'm
I
sorry.
was in deep right field picking at the grass.
Well,
I only
I
know
wanna-
like one person who is good in Little League, and that's it. And otherwise, it was boring as hell. But at least MLB is finally exciting.
I wanna talk about my players, trying to keep
Let's
it
do it.
focused on the task at hand.
Exactly.
And I want to talk about the two players that I was most excited about this week. And they're Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins, who went ahead and scored me 55 points. And then 43 points from Nick Castellanos, who was flexing up on his
Dude.
opponents this week, as I was flexing up on Devin this week. Yeah. You know,
I was
Great
so
W.
jealous. I was so jealous of not having Nick Castellanos on my team and his freaking just brawl out of the dugout, and he just wrecked shit. Oh my god, that was awesome. He doesn't just wreck on the field; he wrecks off the off the bench, and he just, oh my god, he's such a riot.
And I know it's hard to pick a player to be complaining about when you win. But one player I want to see a bit more out of is Michael Conforto. Now, hopefully we get
Wow,
some
doesn't
more games.
everyone?
Hopefully we get some more games this week. You know,
5 games.
I
You're
was
a Mets
doing
fan
my
and you're freaking out over 5 games. You really need to check the door and take a deep breath in and out and realize it's been 5 games.
I'm not
With
freaking out.
4 delayed
I'm-
games.
I'm
Kyle, you're
agreeing
freaking
with
out.
pretty much everyone.
Kyle, you're freaking out.
No, I'm pretty
freaking
much
out.
agreeing with everyone about Conforto.
and so I'd like to see him do better. You know, and you know, I'll admit it, I might have been doing a little bit of a rain dance this week to try and get the one game postponed. Maybe I was pressing, you know, maybe I have some voodoo dolls somewhere of the Washington Nationals and Devon's players. My secrets are, you know, that's going to stay a secret. My strategies and my, at least this year, because I unfortunately blabbed last year and ruined the strategy that I had. Because,
Nobody cares.
well, I think you care because you brought those guys up as your disappointments. So you could try and play that video over
I
and
never
over.
said I was disappointed with my Mets players. I'm disappointed in the Washington Nationals for getting COVID and the weather, you know.
And your injuries too.
cooperating.
So your injuries too. So whatever. I think you care.
Look,
You're trying
my
not to.
injuries, look, it's gonna happen.
I'm going with my players now. Let's move on. Matt Olson is finally starting to turn his wheels. It's been a very frustrating start to the season. I just got a trade offer. Matt Olson for Mercedes.
Alvin Mercedes.
Yep. And I am not sure what to do because I do have outfielders slash first baseman, and then I have first baseman slash third baseman, and then I have Max Muncy. So I have a few first basemen to choose from, but I also have Will Smith, who's a catcher, as well as Mercedes. I don't know if Mercedes is going to keep going, and that's what I am afraid of. Is he will just dip as soon as I pick him up, and Matt Olson is just gonna go off or something. And that's what I'm afraid of. I don't know. What would you guys do? JM, because Devin just wants me to drop everything.
Yeah, if you're gonna ask me for your fantasy advice and you're playing against me, that's just a dumb idea.
Well, Kyle, as the neutral observer, actually someone who kind of wants to see you win. Who much rather see Devin go 0-2 than you go 0-2, Kyle. I think I would hang on to Matt Olson for now. I think him and the A's, despite the slow start, are going to start winning some games, and I think Matt Olson's going to come back. and play better. One player that screwed you over, and Kyle, and I was very happy about this because, oh man, it was a historic moment for my Padres. And I'm glad that if I didn't have this player, that someone else in our league who also happens to be a Padres fan, interestingly enough, happened to have this guy and got to doubly enjoy this moment, not only as a Padres fan, but also as an owner of Joe Musgrove, who our first ever no-hitter, the Joe No. And I was very thrilled with that. It was a great performance. Not only that, but in his first game, he also had a shutout. So pretty good first two performances of Joe Musgrove, who, as you may recall, viewers, was Kyle's X Factor. And he happened to, the X Factor, happened to be the guy that sunk him this week, or one of the guys that sunk him this week.
My own X Factor beat me.
I think it's April 12th,
Nohan
isn't it?
was better.
I predicted this. What the heck? I don't.
April 12th was, I believe, the night the Titanic sank. That's the night we're recording. And it just so happens that Kyle was the Titanic. His iceberg this week was Joe Musgrove.
And my matchup was going back and forth. I was up, and he was up. It was close. And then all of a sudden,
very entertaining.
52 points. Let's do it. There goes my matchup.
Again, I was happy for it as a Padres fan. I'm sorry that you had to be the one that faced it, but I'm glad that the guy who got it was also a Padres fan.
I
was happy
am
for that.
also again, he was my X Factor, so I like Joe Musgrove too.
Well, he grew up shagging balls at the old Qualcomm Stadium and then having season tickets with his parents at Petco Park. And to throw our first no-hitter was just a very historic and awesome moment. I think it certainly has to be the moment of the week for the opening week, to have that history be made. And shout out to the Padres play-by-play announcer, who really did a great job in calling that final out and expressing the excitement of Padres fans everywhere, including myself, who I was at work. I work at a hotel, so I have a computer and I have MLB.TV, and it was kind of a quiet night, so I was able to watch it. And there were some people who had noticed I was getting excited as he was getting close, and asked me what was happening because they were chilling down in the lobby. And I told them what was happening, and they were excited for me. So it was a very exciting moment. I was jumping up and down as he got it, as was the rest of San Diego Nation. So congratulations, Joe Musgrove.
Good job,
Johnny
Paul.
Cueto was very impressive.
Johnny, who I picked up.
Good for you.
Doing my streaming
And
strategy.
just for the record, Nohan was better than the No Joe. Just saying. I think we can all agree on that.
Well, it's because it's the first Padres no-hitter, and they haven't been good
against the
forever.
really shitty Rangers.
Yeah.
But it was a team we had a rivalry. It was a team we had a rivalry against. Remember, that's where San Diego happened. It's a rivalry in the sense that it's, that there's some bitter blood. Is Michigan Ohio State a rivalry anymore because Ohio State's been dominating in recent years?
Well, that's also got a long history of like 100 years. Your intense rivalry was started last year because of a bat flip in a blowout game. And guess what? No one cared about that game. They may have cared because it was Fernando Tatis.
Yeah, it got tons of. What do you mean nobody cares? No, what do you mean
Nobody
nobody
cares.
San Diego Padres. Nobody cares.
Dude, it was one of the most watched John Boy breakdowns ever.
I'm going to continue with my players because I have up and down players, and it's kind of frustrating because I never know who to play. Finally, Matt Chapman is going off. I had to wait forever. I thought he was never going to get back in his groove, but thank God for that. Again, I think, like you guys said, Matt Olson is probably going to get back into it. I think Oakland is gonna progress. Laureano has been fantastic for me. He always gets me points. The guy I'm really disappointed in is Gleyber Torres. He's 1 for 4 every game. If not, he's 0 for 3 or 0 for 4 and with a strikeout or 2. That's all he does. And I'm almost, again, week 1, but I'm almost ready to drop him.
Do it.
The other one, basically everyone else has been good. And actually, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but Justin Turner has been one of my best.
Oh, how the turntables. I'm just gonna say this. What a great first week of baseball, not just in fantasy, because obviously I won. But also just some great moments. It's good to be back. It's good to have fans back. And
We
have
talk about how
controversy.
terrible the umpires have been.
Let's do that. Big example was one of your Mets' 2 wins. That should have been a
Well,
strike
let's
3.
talk about the bigger one. Let's talk about the bigger one that just recently happened.
Oh, yes,
How
the
about that
Phillies
Sunday
ending.
night fiasco?
Oh, I'm very familiar with umps having the wrong call at home plate.
How
Matt
do
Holliday.
you go on replay and still call him safe when he never touches the bag?
There's always this
I don't know.
controversy of, I'm not a fan of replay. Oh, I'm old school. Like, that's not how
You
it's
just
done.
gotta get the calls
And then there's
right.
and then there's people who are like, well, when it's a questionable call, like, and there's not
But
many questionable calls in baseball.
baseball, though, you have ball strikes. You have guys, whether or not they touch the plate. You have, there's just so much intricacies in baseball. I think
So
football
then
gets
are
more.
you for the replays or no?
So I'm generally old school when it comes to baseball. I do think replay should be used, but as is the case with yesterday, if they see on the call that they got it wrong and still don't correct it, then there's no point in replay. They saw the call was wrong, and didn't correct it.
Yeah.
And so what's the point of replay if you're gonna waste all that time and you're talking about speeding up the game and doing other things that, in my opinion, ruin the game, like the runner on second base in the 10th inning. Some of these silly rules they're trying to implement that are ruining the game because they're trying to make it faster. But then you have replay, and replay is literally just nothing happening for 2 to 3 minutes or more. And then if you're not gonna get the
More.
call right, yeah, more. It's like 5-10 minutes of just sitting around watching the umpires
In a group of 3 or 4 in a circle with their
huddle.
headphones and being like, is this gonna be an out? I don't know. Let's wait another 5 minutes just for shits and gigs.
But
That'd
I'm
be fun.
against what I'm against too is robot umps. And I know there's some people like, oh, we need robot umps. No, I think the human factor of umpires and that the chances they make mistakes, much like the human players that play the game, is part of the game. It's part of the game. There's going to be the human factor of the umpires. So I do think there should be robot umps. I think if there should be replay, it should be limited. But that, again, it should be, if you have the call, if you're going to have replay, then fix the calls when you get them wrong. And that
Yeah.
did not happen last night. So bad look for MLB there, but overall, I think a good first week for baseball. And I think a little bit of controversy is good. At least it gets the eyeballs on the game.
I would disagree to a degree on that.
I think the worst thing baseball did was move the All-Star game, but I'm not going to get into that too much. I'm not going to get into that too much, but I do think that was a mistake.
No, it
Mistake.
wasn't. That was not a mistake at all. Absolutely
Yes, it
not.
was.
I don't think sports should get involved in politics.
Exactly.
Then politics shouldn't get involved in sports.
The only problem I see in Georgia is that a lot of people don't wear masks. And there's
Nobody
a
told
lot
them.
of trouble.
They don't
there.
deserve it.
There's a
Exactly.
lot of trouble
Don't
there.
reward them.
Did you guys see a play while watching that just kind of astonished you?
I'll
Yeah,
start.
James McCann throwing out base runners.
Yeah.
What was that? That's it.
Speaking of controversial calls, the Michael Conforto call. I mean, again, he leaned into the strike zone, and that should have been an out. But again, there's, as I was trying to say before I was interrupted, I think it's good for baseball in a sense to have bad calls. Not that we want bad calls, but to at least get some attention, because some people would say there's no such thing as bad press. And at least baseball's getting press from ESPN instead of basketball all the time, or football, the NFL draft. Which, speaking of which, our next episode should be an NFL draft episode.
Yep.
So not getting too hard on them, but I do love baseball and baseball talk. And there was plenty to talk about in baseball, from the Jono to the Conforto hit by pitch to the did he touch home Alec Baum to the Castellanos flexing. It was a great first week of baseball, not just because I won in fantasy.
I think
Because good at baseball.
Castellanos was my favorite player this week.
Oh
He
yeah,
was just so fun, and he just wrecks shop, man. He just kicks ass. Again, I'm so jealous that I don't freaking have him.
Yep.
Oh well,
Make a big trade for him.
I could. I don't really have too many complaints except the ones I just listed, and I forgot to mention Albies. He's had a slow start too, and he finally picked up with that home run. It's nice. I just need him to really turn the wheels as Acuna has done so.
Yeah, Kenya had a great start, but great first week of baseball, and a great 5th episode.
Yep,
Are we done?
I think we're done.
Good job, guys. Thank you.
Thank you,
so much.
everyone. Thank you, everyone, for
subscribe.
joining.
Like, share, do all that. We love this audience. We've had a terrific, great, amazing audience. What a terrific audience, to quote
Yep.
Jimmy from South Park. What a terrific audience. And you guys really have been. A lot of interaction. We're growing this thing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited to do this, to transform what started as text talk to turn into a real live podcast. And so, love you guys. Even though we butt heads on some things.
Well, hold on.
That's
One
fun.
last thing. One last thing. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
one last thing.
Sure.
Now, next week, MLB The Show comes out. I know I'm getting it. JM is getting it.
I'm gonna try and
Maybe
get it.
producer Kyle gets it. I don't know. We don't know yet. We don't know. We don't know what the future holds. But maybe we get some fan interaction that way. Maybe we get some
Let's
gameplay
plays.
on that. Maybe we get a little added trash talking that.
I hope so.
We'll see.
It's totally up to them. So
Comment
let's
below if you think producer Kyle should get MLB The Show. And also,
com-
let's start a GoFundMe page to help JM know that this is how you make an M. And this is what an M looks like. Not this.
WM.
It's not a Fu Manchu.
WM.
That's
Whatever.
Not an M.
Not JM.
I flipped my
J.
W's to M.
All right.
Win money.
Wanna know. We should also have a debate whether or not Devin should shave his beard as part of a bet.
Never.
So Devin left, but that's okay. We really want to thank everyone. We need more subscribers. I really appreciate every subscription that is out there.
We love
Give
you
us
guys.
likes, give us views. We all appreciate this, and we need to get this up top and
To the moon,
To the moon. Rocket to the moon, man.
to quote
So-
our friends over at Wall Street Bets to the moon.
Mhm.
Even though I'm not part of that. To the moon. I like that phrase. To the moon. I like it. I love it. I love our audience. Like I said, we have a terrific audience. And I'm not just saying that to quote South Park. I really believe it. Lots of a little bit of fan interaction. I just noticed today, I happen to be on our channel. We got like 3 or 4 new subscribers today alone.
Yep.
So they should be excited for the new content that's coming out. And an NFL draft episode is coming up. We're going to finally talk about football. I know some people have been waiting on it. Our first intros, which were directed so beautifully by Kyle, showed football. So we'll finally talk football. Talk some
It
shop. NFL.
has been a while since we've had football.
But you know what? I will defend us in that in one regard. Football is talked about ad nauseum on like every network, ESPN, Fox, NBC, sports radio. It's football, basketball. If you like baseball, this is your spot. If you like football too, yeah, we'll talk football when the season comes. We'll talk draft. We'll do all that. But we're also going to talk about baseball. Baseball is our love, as is football, but we love baseball. So if you're looking for baseball talk and NFL draft talk, come here, subscribe, like, share, do all that. Thank you guys. Peace.